Good afternoon and good evening, comic book familia. If you could have seen how crazy I was trying to get everything ready, Peter was asking me if this was my first time on YouTube. I'm using my daughter's laptop. I was a little bit frazzled, and I was just like running back and forth like with a chicken with his head
Amateur
cut off.
hour. Honestly,
Amateur.
amateur hour. I'm laughing, Efren, because we've got Phil in the chat saying, come on, what's the hold up? If only you saw, Phil, what was happening backstage.
If we could have recorded that, press record and then just maybe I should have just pressed record and
You
then gotten live
should
or
have.
something. I was like running back and forth like a kid. Peter's going, "Are you okay?" Everything going. My computer's been acting up. My internet server's been acting up, and I'm using my daughter's laptop instead of my regular computer, so it's a little bit, unorthodox or a little bit crazy with me here. But
Yeah.
we started about 2 minutes late. Excuse us for starting. But my name is Efren. I go by Passpoint Comics, and the person who's always with me is Peter Triple G Comics. How's it going, Peter?
Very good, mate. Very good. We've got lots of exciting stuff going on in the UK at the moment, so I'm very pleased to be able to switch off from all that shite and just do some comic book talk because it's unpleasant over here at the moment. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to this, mate.
I was thinking of that previously when I said if you just want to go on a show, watch a show, two guys just talking comic books and having fun.
Yeah,
This to me is what it's all about. Just talking
yeah,
comic books and having fun, just and
absolutely.
enjoying each other's companies, your company and everybody that's watching our video, which we always appreciate.
Yeah, well, we've got, I mean, I don't know if you've been following the news, Efren, but we've got riots and things in the streets at the moment. So
Oh no.
it's just awful, just absolutely awful. So it's good to just talk geeky with one of my best pals. So I'm looking forward to it, mate.
So these are our advanced orders. We missed last month, but one thing I was just crazy again with Comic Con trying to get ready, and we just missed last month. We apologize for that, but we are back. And these are advanced orders that are coming out in October 2024. Peter picks some books and I pick some books. Sometimes Peter picks more books than me. This time I picked a lot more than Peter at the end.
Okay.
So we used to do like 5, I think, each, and we kept it a limit. But after a while, we said just pick whatever we feel like choosing.
Yeah, we just went crazy.
Yeah, we're crazy. And then also we do one book. We review one book that we like reading, and one book that we're looking forward to be reading next week, and one cover that we like, from years gone by. Could be from the Silver Age or to the modern age. But that's the gist of this video. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next month. So, right.
Shall we see who's in the chat, Efren? Do you want me to do the comments?
Yep. Yeah.
We've got Phil. Always nice to see you, Phil. Hope you're well, bud. We've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. All aboard Destination Comicville.
Yep.
Strap in. We've got Bat Dan. You're going to meet Bat Dan at Thought Bubble, Efren.
Nice.
Great guy. So looking forward to that. And we've got Terry Deadman. Just put out another video. I think it was today, Terry, wasn't it? Or was it yesterday that I saw your Supergirl cover that you had, which was stunning. So please go check that out. Fuzzy's not a fan of your intro music, Efren. That's the worst music I've ever heard. I'll be honest. We should sing it next time. We'll sing it for you.
To be honest, I got to change that because I was thinking ahead of time that this is one of the musics that I picked from Canva, and they always ding me on it. So thank you. And I agree, Fuzzy. I'm going to change it. So.
All right. Okay. Yeah. It's weird, that Canva thing, that sometimes you get kind of hits on it and sometimes you don't. It's odd.
So, yeah, it's weird.
We've got Von Hoot. Always nice to see you, Von Hoot. And we've got Andy. Andy. Me and I'm not going to tell you what, but me and Andy have been chatting tonight with the rest of the guys from the Killer Comic Show. We've got something fun for you tomorrow night at the start of the Killer Comic Show. Something a little bit risky. So please do make sure you dial in and check that out because, yeah, it's got the potential to be one of the greatest things you've ever seen. It's also got the potential to be the end of the Killer Comics Show as we know it. So it's going to be interesting. We've got MJ Comics. Nice to see you, James. Always good to see you. James has just done a video today with some phenomenal Mario books. So please do check that out. Phil, I was just thinking the same thing, Andy. Comic Lad Simon, the ultimate pro in prep. Jesus. The toy show on Monday night was a challenge, I have to say. It was an absolute challenge. Although I have to say, I don't know if you caught it, Efren, but Simon did one of the best things I think he's ever done. He put an image of James Keegan.
I did.
Through an AI generator.
I seen that part, yes.
It was just brilliant. Just brilliant. Andy's saying, wait, people read comics? They do, mate. They do. Yeah. Not a lot of them these days, but some of them do, yeah. Bat Dancing is allegedly being released from prison that month to come to Thought Bubble, so that's good. Fuzzy, I can't lie, I've always fancied a bit of looting. I can't explain it. Yeah, it's never appealed to me, but they seem to be looting places like Greg's, which is a bit strange. I mean, I can't imagine looting a sausage roll. Oh, James is still over in France. Yeah, good stuff, mate. Good.
Oh,
So you
nice.
well out of it over here. We've got Rogue One Photography. Nice to see you, Phil. Hope you're well. Let us know, Phil. Did you get your? I know you're waiting on your Wolverine. Did you get him through the post? Let us know, mate. Naked Killer comic show. Jesus God. Please say you're posing as your cover. Oh God, grief the day, Efren. The Killer comic show. We're image every month. Sorry, every week. We'll put up our favourite covers and people vote on them. And it just happened that this week we'd all picked images of superhero women. And we got a bit of grief for it, which was interesting. We've got MJ Naked Killer Comics calendar is released. Yeah, absolutely. That should sell some. And we've got Chris. Nice to see you, Chris. Chris, I need to do something else with you, mate, on the channel. I've got some new absolutes. I'd love to talk to you about absolutes at some point. Efren, sorry, took over again there. You have control.
No, it's quite fine. I mean, you said you're in charge of saying hi to everybody, because I'd be fumbling through it. So maybe this was a good thing, that I was fumbling through it, so it just keeps us on our toes a little bit, But we were laughing at the same time. But
yeah.
But we do a monthly show, and Peter and I take turns, so-called hosting it, but it's on both of our channels now. But he does the slides every month, or then I do the slides. But it's my turn to do the slides. And are you ready, sir?
Born ready. Let's have a look, see what we've got.
These are advanced orders for books coming out in October 2024.
Gosh, October.
Yeah. Basically, Peter and I, we just go through the comic books advanced orders, and we just choose the books that catch our interest. And let me go on to the next page. This is shut up and take my money, basically. And you are up first, sir.
Yeah, so I may get a bit of stick for this, but we've talked in the past, haven't we, about Marvel and about their lack of originality. And the Conquest, the original Conquest, was one of my favorites.
Yep.
And I scoffed at this idea of Conquest 2099. We should say, sorry, that there may be some spoilers in this conversation. But, these are books coming out in October, but we might spoil some bits and bobs. So I scoffed at Conquest a little bit. I read in issue 1 of Conquest Nova a couple of weeks back now, and I have to say I loved it. Wolverine as Nova was a real surprise to me, so looking forward to reading this. I will give it a go, just see what it's like. We've got Dracula in there. I'm liking this version of Dracula, and right. Nova, Spider-Man 2099, and a whole host of other characters. So yeah, looking forward to reading that one and just giving it a go, see what it's like.
One of the things that I like about this monthly show is I think we miss books that, we flip through them so quick, but then you pick them and I went, wow, I completely missed this cover and I'm going to be reading this, you know, so it looks cool, so. And I am my turn. So I just love this cover. Yeah, it's Alien Romulus. It's following the theatrical release of the highly anticipated blockbuster Alien Romulus. Marvel Comics presents an all-new story revealing secrets of the film's legendary antagonist. It says, how did xenomorphs find Brain, Andy, and the scavenger crew? So I just really like this cover, and I still read the Marvel books by Alien. I've been enjoying them, and so that's why I picked this cover.
Are you going to go and see this, Efren, this film in the cinema?
Yeah. Ever since you and James and you have been introducing me more and more into scary movies, so it has eased my tension some. I won't lie to you. I'm still getting used to watching scary movies, but I don't like watching them by myself. When I'm at home, I go, no, I just don't want to see it, especially at night. I said, forget it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to check this out.
I can't wait. I think this is going to be amazing. Yeah. Bat Dan's just making an interesting comment there. Advanced orders that just might come out in October, but probably won't, as the artists haven't even started yet. I can't disagree with that, Bat Dan. There's some very frustrating books out at the moment. I'm sure Fuzzy will chime in, but we're still waiting on a Batman book that just seems to be delayed indefinitely. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So yeah, they're always delayed. What can you do? I mean, these guys, especially when they have more than one book that they're writing or drawing, so I'm not surprised books are not more delayed more often, so, but yeah, we expect them every month. So, and you're up next.
Crypt of Shadows. Now, there's been a few one-shots of this in the past. I just love this collection of characters. I'm a bit of a sucker for Blade, Werewolf by Night, and Man Thing.
Yeah.
I saw this cover and it surprised us straight away because there's a character on there that I didn't expect to see on there. Craven the Hunter.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that
I
was kind
can't
of weird.
work out why he's in there other than he's got a potential movie coming out, so they're trying to slap him on covers or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's a bit of an interesting one. This says, as All Hallows Eve approaches, the heroes of the Marvel Universe find themselves once again facing the terrors that lie in the dark. So last year's wasn't too bad. I presume they must be doing this every year now. So yeah, again, I'm going to give this one a go and just see what it's like.
Craven the Hunter is so single-mindedly even throughout the decades, he's just go after Spider-Man or go after other characters. It's like, get a life, dude.
Yeah.
Next here. Here's another one. I just love this cover. It says Star Wars, The Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising. Anybody who's seen Star Wars knows this is what Darth Vader, what happened to him afterwards. You know, his mask was basically, heated up, I believe. And so I just like this cover. And it says it's New Republic stave off an unexpected and deadly new threat. A defiant Imperial takes center stage and goes on the offensive against the New Republic. Leia makes a startling discovery in the Force of Endor. Who are the mysterious and deadly acolytes of the beyond? Basically, this is a continuation of post-Return of the Jedi. So, I mean, even after all these decades of Star Wars, they always seem to go back to the original, trilogy. And yeah, I'm going to read it. So I like the cover. So
I like the cover. I do like the cover. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, Efren, I've struggled with Star Wars comics. I've not really found one that really engaged us, although I did enjoy that Dark Droids, though I didn't finish the series, but I'll have to maybe go back at that. Fuzzy's just saying they had the cheek to have the right to do a panel at San Diego Comic-Con for Gargle of Gotham 9 months late. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Just ridiculous.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. And you are up next, sir.
Bit of Scotty Young action for you there. I know we've got a lot of Scotty fans. Just mentioning that. I don't know if you picked them all up yet, Efren, but Fuzzy Dunlop put something on his Instagram page today or yesterday with all of the Scotty Marvel covers. And I have to say, it looked amazing, all lined up. Do you know the ones that have just recently been released?
Yeah, it was big. What was it called? Big something, I forgot. But I got them all, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they look phenomenal, I have to say. I say they do look phenomenal. What's Chris saying? Fancy spelling of recommended there. Have you misspelled recommended?
Oh, you know what? I put it on Canva and then I switch it over to Google Slides. You know how it just does it automatically now? And it just cuts it off.
Do you know what it's done, Efren? If my little eagle eyes are right, it's moved the D to the line below because you can see the center of the reading D. It's got the black inside it.
Yeah. For some reason, when you use Canva and then you switch it over to you can transport it to Google Slides, and it does. Sometimes it doesn't do it quite exactly like it is in Canva. I wasn't going to go through like over 40 slides and change the D, so that's why it's there. And anybody
well spotted. Well spotted.
Yeah, anybody wants proof, I'll send you a shot of the Canva slide.
So. But this is another relaunch of Iron Man. The cover jumped out at us. Roxxon and AIM team up to take on Stark Unlimited, but they're not ready for old Tony Stark. He's a lot angrier than he used to be. Iron Man's going to war, new armor, old enemies, and unbelievable twists. I like a relaunch, I have to say. I'll give it a go. It just sounds interesting. Now, I'm not up to speed with what's happening with Iron Man at the moment, so I don't know why he's a new version or he's an angrier version. But yeah, I'll check that one out.
He was involved with the X-Men and for Krakoa and all that stuff. He married Emma Frost.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that ended. It's about to end. That series. And the X-Men. So they're going to a new reboot of the X-Men also. So. But I mean, I missed this cover the first time until you posted it. You showed me, you sent me the pictures of what you picked. I went, oh my gosh, I missed this completely. So I love, Scotty Young. So I'm definitely going to get this book.
Very cool. It is very cool.
Yep. So Perpetual Comics says I'm having issues with my D. So Peter would say, how dare you? So I am up next. So when you read a book, Peter, sometimes I just go through it so quick. And I don't bother looking who wrote it. I read issue number 1 of this. I'm going, boy, this is a good story. I go, who wrote this? And it was my main man, Rodney King. So I read issue number 1. Well, I'm not going to say anything because it's going to come up later on. But this is Star Wars Inquisitors number 4 for written by Rodney Barnes. I said Rodney King, sorry, Rodney Barnes. Jedi legend Tensu Run confronts the Inquisitors and the dark side itself. So this,
Nice.
I really enjoyed this book, and that's why I picked it as a.
Efren, do you know what? It's a great pick. I have to say, it is a great pick. The only sad thing is, I would love to be able to talk to the writer about this book, but I don't know if we'll ever get the opportunity. Will we?
Jeez, I don't know, man. I don't know. I hustled at Comic-Con to talk to one writer, and it was Rodney Barnes, and he's going to be coming up on our channels next month. So I believe September 5th, I believe.
Excited for that one. So Efren has managed to secure an interview with Rodney. He's going to be on both channels in a month's time. So looking forward to that. Be lots and lots of questions for Rodney.
He's a very, very nice gentleman. Yeah. Just easy going. I think it's going to be a knock on wood, going to be a good talk with him, So, yep. Nice guy. Very tall too. He's about 6'4". So, you're up next.
Yeah, so I love the original Marvel Zombies. I thought it was a great little series. I think it lost its way, something rotten as the kind of went on. But I'm also a massive fan of any kind of Hulk versus Thor clash. And this is what this is sold us on. So Thor versus Hulk, a zombie smackdown for the ages. Banner must get to Avengers Tower to make an antidote to the virus, but to get through the infested streets, he'll have to travel as Hulk. And basically, he's going to get into a showdown with Thor. So, love it. I'm not a massive fan of that cover, I have to say, but I always like a good Thor stroke Hulk battle. So yeah, I'll give that one a go.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm going to read it too, So I apologized already. It's Rodney Barnes. So. I just like this cover because it brought me back like to an era like from the 1970s when you seen team ups like this. This cover just reminded me of that for some reason. This is a Captain America number 14. It says The New Warriors 3. J. Michael Straczynski reveals Thor and Spider-Man. Still reading from recent events at the front door. That's my dog. That's not me. You hear him hacking there. So Captain America needs friends more now than ever, but Spidey and Thor have problems of their own. I just really dug this cover. So like I said, it just reminded me of an era gone by. So, hopefully it's a good read,
The chat aren't letting me get away with anything tonight, Efren. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Phil, you like to say Thor stroke Hulk. I certainly do. That's what I think about in my alone time, Phil. It is, yeah, it's good. That's a stern cover, Efren. I really like that cover. Very cool.
Yeah, just nothing too splashy about this cover. Just 3 Marvel heroes and stuff like that. So, and you are up next, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know people kick off in the chat. Moon Knight, another issue 1. It's just a year since he had another bloody issue 1, but he died.
Yeah,
and he got better. He came back during the last Blood Hunt crossover.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is another relaunch. And I can't help myself. It's like an addiction. Do you know what I mean? I won't read on from this. I'm not that interested in the Moon Knight character, but it's a relaunch. It's another issue 1. I quite like the title, Fist of Khonshu. So I'll certainly give it a couple of issues just to see what it's all about. Let me know in the chat. Are you interested in this in the slightest, or are you just sick to the back teeth of deaths and reborn launches and rebirths and all the rest of it? Because it's literally just 2 years maximum since we had about 400 versions of Moon Knight issue number 1 with hundreds of different variant covers, of which I bought a ridiculous amount. So let me know in the chat.
I started reading Moon Knight the previous couple of series, before they ended. And the reason I started liking it more is because they were bringing in other characters like Tigra was joining and other characters. I thought it made it more enjoyable for me, at least, because I've read Moon Knight issues in the past when it was just him fighting with like all his inner egos, or so to speak. I was like, what the heck is going on here? But I really liked it, so.
Phil's saying it's not only a relaunch, but it's the 3rd Jed Mackie relaunch. Oh. Wow, that's interesting. And he's not interested in the slightest.
No.
And
I
so
like it.
So, yeah. Unlikely. Nope. TV show was disappointing. Comics never done it for me. It's interesting that the comics never really taken off, is it? Chris is agreeing, not really interested in any of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Moon Knight's comics have always seemed to struggle. I think Marvel want them to be a much more popular. Well, they want them to be their version of Batman in many ways, but he's just never kind of taken off. Chris is saying he's only here for the manly men on display, and Phil says, "Do you see any, Chris? How dare you? How dare you, Phil?" So that's Moon Knight.
Up next. So this is the Ultimates #5, and I won't lie. When we do these choices,
Sorry,
hey.
sorry, just to interrupt. We've got Rod from Just a Rican and his comics. Please go check out Rod's channel. Efren, it's worth just taking my hat off here and giving Rod a nod, because this guy set up like it was a date. But me and you wouldn't have met if it wasn't for Rod and his show. So Rod, just want to give you a massive thank you, because I'm going to get really soppy here, but because of you and your show, I made probably my best bud on YouTube. So thank you so much for that, mate.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, when I went on Rod's show, I just basically was just doing recorded videos. I was a little bit hesitant still, and I seen Peter and I seen the Thor behind him, if I remember correctly. You had the first Thor behind you. I reached out to you on Instagram and I said, would you like to do videos together? And it just started from there. Very grateful. One of my best buds too on YouTube. But this is Ultimates #5. Well, I'm glad we met you too. So, it's a highlight of my YouTube career so far. I just like this reiteration of Hawkeye. I think it's different, So this is Ultimates #5, cover B by Eun-hyuk Lee. It says Ultimate Hawkeye targets Captain America. Hawkeye no more, not for long. A new challenger approaches when an unknown civilian picks up a discarded bow and arrow and refuses to let the Ultimates reclaim the stolen Stark tech. So I think this looks pretty interesting. I have been reading the new Ultimates, especially Ultimate Spider-Man. It's a really good series, and I've been reading this and I've been enjoying it. So hopefully it'll stick around for at least a couple of years, this Ultimate, before it goes away eventually. So
and it's worth saying that some of the Ultimate lines have been great. I wasn't a big fan of Ultimate X-Men. I think you've read that recently, haven't you?
Yeah, I just put it down. I said, nope, see ya.
So yeah. It's all kicking off in the chat. Everybody's commenting that I've called you my best bud, and James is going. James Keegan's crying himself to sleep tonight. James is going to be unhappy. Best buds. Oh dearie me. James is on a flight over to San Diego. Fuzzy's kicking off. Wow. Yeah. Apologies.
Oh well.
But yeah, interesting looking book. I like the look of that, mate.
You are next.
Oh yeah. I just don't know about this. This is the DC launch of their Absolute line. We're getting Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman initially. Retakes or retellings of some of the Bat tales, and basically they're stripping them all down. So this is a Batman who doesn't have the money behind him. He doesn't have Alfred or the cars and all that kind of stuff. I'm just not sure what to think of this. The cover, the artwork, I don't know. It's certainly not what I'm used to in terms of Batman. It's a bit Dark Knight-y, a bit Frank Miller. But I want to give it a go. I'm definitely going to give this a go. I quite like Scott Snyder. He's a bit hit and miss for me, but some of his work is superb. It's got us intrigued. I can't quite get my head around the chunkiness of Batman, but we'll see. Is it appealing to you, everyone? Is this one that's jumping out at you?
So I did see this one when we were going through our advanced orders, and I just looked at the cover and going, what the heck is this? So I passed on it when I first seen it. The costume, the way it looks, like you said, so chunky. I go, I don't know what this is about. So that's why I didn't pick it, but I am going to read it. I always got to read at least one issue just to give it a chance.
Give it a go. Yeah.
But it wasn't one of my choices that I picked. I looked at the cover. I said, what is going on with him? So I just passed right through it, but I am going to give it a chance, So.
It's certainly split in the chat. Some people are keen. Some people are a bit hesitant of it. But Dan, I agree. You'd be worried if this wasn't Snyder. Yeah. I just find the whole launch of the Absolute line interesting, because they have the Earth 1 or whatever graphic novels, which are quite cool. So I'm surprised they've gone down this route. I'm presuming it's following on from the Absolute Power mini series, but yeah, we'll see. Andy's saying, "What's the Snyder missed on you, Pete?" There's been a few, mate. There was what do you call it? Android Witches. Thought that was very good. There was what was the one where there was Black Bill or something? Well, we read it on GP's channel. I think I enjoyed the first miniseries, and then I wasn't keen on the rest of it.
I don't remember. No.
Can't remember what that series was called. Someone help us in the chat. Can't remember what that series. It was one where they're in a permanent darkness.
Oh gosh, I don't remember. No. Yeah, I just looked at that cover. I said, "Nah, this is not for me." You know. So, but we'll see. You know, like I said, I'll read the first issue.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. DC loves the word absolute. It certainly does. It certainly does. Dead Man, be surprised if it lasts a year. Andy saying if any character needed something different done, it was Batman. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just don't see the point in it, but I'm willing to be proved wrong. I'll give it a go. Yeah, give it a go.
I am next. This reminding me of Days of Future Past. I think that's what it was called, X-Men, when Wolverine was like, you know, the picture of him, you know, when the Sentinels shot him. But I mean, you know, basically just took all his meat off his bones. But this is Wolverine #2. It says, where goes the Wendigo? Who stalks Wolverine in the Canadian North? And what mysterious designs does the Wendigo have on the best there is? Logan just wants to be left alone, but a war on two fronts will evolve with an unexpected turn. So, yeah, I mean, I really dug. Hey, thank you. Take care, too. Yeah, I just really dug this cover. I thought it was, for a minute, I thought it was, I think it is is it Godzilla or not?
It is. There's a whole host of Godzilla versus homages, I think, coming out, which look pretty cool.
So I thought it was a cool looking cover. So hopefully it's a good read too. And it's another reboot. Look like this is Wolverine #2. So
Fuzzy saying the absolute edition would be huge. I love an absolute edition. So yeah. Bat Dan, the bit I don't get is them embrace relaunching Elseworlds, and then this comes along in addition. Yeah, that's what I mean, mate. It's just odd. Metal, Death Metal. I've got the two absolutes of them. I've not read them yet. And the second half of his Batman run was a miss. Yeah, I've not read the Metal stuff yet. I've got it in, like I say, the absolute format, so I will be giving it a go. Okay, next book, Efren.
You're up next.
Sticking with the absolute theme, we've got Absolute Superman. I have to say, I love the cover, and again, this is going to really rest on the writing talent, and it's got Jason Aaron, and I absolutely love Jason Aaron's work most of the time. So I'm intrigued. Do love the cover. It's very similar to Batman. It's a stripped down Superman without his fortress, without his family, all that kind of stuff. How dare you, Andy? How dare you? So yeah, I'll give it a go purely because it's Jason Aaron. And just in the chat, just before we move on, Andy was saying there's not many new comics on his pull list, and Phil's confirming that he's dropped a lot excuse me, from his recent list. I have to say I'm the same. I got into the kind of the frame of mind 6 months or so ago where I was reading pretty much everything that I could get my hands on, and I'm having to pull right back now. One, because I haven't got the time, and two, because as you described earlier, Efren, I realized I was just kind of speed reading stuff. I was flicking through the pages, and it was because I wasn't really that interested. I've given like the new X titles a read, and I've decided, nah, they're not for me. I'm just gonna put them
I haven't
away.
read them yet, you know. So okay, I am up next. This cover is by J. Scott Campbell. It wasn't available yet, but it's by J. Scott Campbell, so that's why I chose it. It's X-Men #5, and it says, while the X-Men engage the social media sociopath upstarts Kid Omega and Psylocke dive deep into the mind of a troubled mutant. I haven't read any of this new series yet, and we're up to issue 5, you know, as far as advanced orders. But the reason I picked it is basically because it's a J. Scott Campbell cover, and I become a fan of him all over again because of San Diego Comic-Con. I looked at his covers there. I bought some. I got some for Rob too, Rob Fatstack. You know, I got him a cover. They're really beautiful covers, man. So I've been becoming a fan all over again of J. Scott Campbell. So hopefully this is a good cover.
I mean, there's no denying J. Scott Campbell is a superb artist, but I have to say, Efren, I read the first issue of this, and I've read the first few issues of a few of the new relaunched X titles. None of them are exciting as.
Oh gosh!
I mean, Thursday night, 9 o'clock, Killer Comic Show. We're going to be talking about the relaunch of X-Force. So you'll hear what myself, Andy, Charlie, and Tom think of that one. I can probably predict what I think a few people are going to say, and I know Fuzzy has read the recent X-Force. So yeah, I'm not sure that they're really setting the world alight.
I think to me, it's like a nostalgic read. That, you know, I've been reading it for decades, so it's kind of hard for me to say these books are not going to be any good because I'm still going to read it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully I'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Fuzzy's just saying X-Force was flat, sadly. Yeah,
Okay.
I have to agree. Andy, spoilers for tomorrow.
Oh
I
my
read 11
gosh.
pages and tossed my iPad out the window. Absolute mince.
I'm going to
Jesus.
mute you guys and just close my eyes for a couple
Yeah.
minutes.
Phil is saying Vicious Circle 3 is out this week. 1 year since issue 2. 1 year since the second issue. That's unacceptable in every level, isn't it?
Yeah, that's too bad.
Now, this is a good pick, Efren. This yours?
That was yours.
Oh, I knew that. This is a great pick, Efren. So this is the Deviant number 9. Been reading this series, really enjoying it. This is the end point, so the final issue. This has kept the momentum going. There's been a couple of issues that I've thought, oh, we could have done with speeding these up a little bit. But overall, this has been a great little series. If it lands the ending, I think this will have been a really strong book, and it will be a brilliant little TV series or movie or something. I'm not going to read that synopsis because I'm scared it's got spoilers in it for us, but you all know about the Deviant. So yeah, make sure you check this one out. I think it'll be very cool.
It's been a good story, and it's written by James Tynion IV. So, let me see. Okay. When I seen this cover, this was an homage. I forgot to what Batman it was, but from the 1940s or 30s, the picture is an homage, and that's why I picked it. But it's Batman and Robin Year One. It says it's written by Mark Waid. It says, while Bruce Wayne adjusts to the realities of adopting orphan Dick Grayson, a mysterious new crime boss called the General has come to Gotham to claim the city by disrupting and destroying its other mobs. So this is like a story that was never told in Batman and Robin's history. So I really dig this cover too. So hopefully it's a good read. I
love the cover, and I'm a big fan of Mark Waid. So I'll probably pick this one up. I think this will be very, very, very cool. Fuzzy's just saying that the relaunch of Phoenix was full of allegedly traced artwork. The reboot hasn't started well. How can they be still putting out that stuff? Do you know what I mean? Artists copying off artists and stuff.
Who knows? God, you guys are making me not want to read X-Men anymore. God, man. You're up next.
Okay, this is a book that I've picked purely because, again, it's an issue number 1. It's a mini series of 4. It's not a series I feel I'm familiar enough with. So I read 2 issues of a recent miniseries over on the Killer Comic Show by, I can't remember who did it. Somebody in the chat will say, was it Carla Cohen? Can't remember. And it was quite interesting, but I don't know these really at all. So I thought, give it a go. Relaunch. Tim Seeley, I like his artwork. So see what it's all about. Phil is just saying, Peter, what was that semi-okay book that Mark Waid done that one time? He's done lots of good work. I don't know which one you mean, Phil. He did a superb run on the Flash. He did Captain America. His Captain America was superb. And he did, right. Phil, I'm an old man, so it's just clicked now that you are ribbing me, aren't you? You're talking about Kingdom Come, aren't you? Prick, honestly, terrible. Wasn't great art in it. I should have, swine. I should have read the comments. Telling he's a solid artist and Wade is a good writer. We'll definitely give it a go. Yeah. I'm sure I see a new Hack/Slash book every month or so. Still never read one. Fuzzy, that's the same as me, mate. I've seen it so many times and you hear good things about it. And I quite enjoyed those 2 issues of the book that I read previously. So yeah, I'll give it a go. Zoe Thorogood. Thanks, mate. Yeah, got that one. And the Backdown's confirming it was by Zoe Thorogood. I think I read the first 2 issues, but we didn't read the last 2. So yeah, I'll give that a go.
Cool. You know what I told you, Peter? Alex Ross is doing a Kickstarter on Kingdom Come, and they talked about it, and that cover looked really nice.
Yeah. Phil's already backed it, from what I understand, because Phil's a massive fan. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't pick this one, Peter.
I thought I did pick this one.
No,
look at that, man. Look at it.
You didn't pick. I know Peter. He must have just missed this, but this is by our main guy, Rodney Barnes. It says Batman Full Moon #1. It's a gory Gotham horror story with glow-in-the-dark covers. I love glow-in-the-dark covers. I'm a sucker for this. An ancient and supernatural force stalks the streets of Gotham City. A lichen so powerful, it'll defy Batman's most trusted resources. He spoke a little bit about this. I went to his panel. That's where I got him to come on our shows. and he mentioned book was coming out. I'm sure I'll ask him questions about this, come September. But I love the cover.
I think this looks amazing. I think the artwork just looks absolutely
Yeah.
stunning. I hadn't realized it was glow in the dark, so I'm all over this. This will be amazing. Von Hood, boing, full moon, I'm at full mast. I think this has got the potential to be a superb story.
Yeah, when we were
Black
going
label as well. So yeah.
When you send me your choices, I'm going, God, he didn't pick this one.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna pick it. I know he'd want to talk about it. So the reason there's two pictures here, because when Peter and I we make our choices, we don't tell each other what we choose. And this just happens to be one we both chose. But Peter, go ahead.
So this is Hyde Street by the amazing Jeff Jones, who just never seems to stop.
Yeah.
This just sounds really interesting. The cover kind of drew us in straight away. This is basically a new epic era in the character-centered horror that begins as Ghost Machine launches Hyde Street. It's the newest ongoing series from creators Jeff Jones. Every city and town of every county road and Metropolis Avenue, if you make a wrong turn, you might find yourself on Hyde Street. But be careful who you talk to and what you do, because the consequences make death itself seem like an easy way out.
Wow.
It just sounds brilliant. It just sounds absolutely brilliant. So I'm all over this one as well, and I'm loving the Ghost Machine universe at the moment. So yeah, I think this is going to be good.
Yep, good. That's every now and then we don't know when we pick the same cover, so I figured out we did pick both for this book, so it should be good if we both picked it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I really have enjoyed this series. It's been out like about 3 years now. This is Batman Superman World's Finest, written by Mark Waid. And it says, Eclipso's reign of terror rages on. Even the combined might of the Man of Steel and Dark Knight detective cannot overcome the reincarnation of literal wrath of God. Sounds like our heroes are going to need some reinforcements. And it's the debut of the Justice League in this series. So I'm curious to see that too. Here we go again by Mark Waid, really good writer.
Yeah, very cool.
Yep.
Cool.
And you're up next.
So we didn't do a show last month.
Yeah.
So I missed issue 1 of this. This has caught me by surprise. I didn't realize this was coming out. I read this. This is by Dark Horse. I read Where Monsters Lie, series 1 last year, I think it was, and I gushed about it. Basically, it's a story of all these murderers and serial killers that are basically icons of what we know as kind of movie monsters. So you've got your Jason character, your slasher characters, and all that kind of stuff. And they all live in this little kind of retirement village thing. And the initial story was of how the police stumble across it and all the murderers kind of cut loose and everything. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I hadn't realized there was a second series coming out. So this is Where Monsters Lie, Cul-de-Sac, issue number 2. The mega hit comedy, horror comedy by Eisner nominated writer Kyle Starks returns. Welcome to Site C, home of hillbilly slashers, backwoods cannibals, and all the rural killers. I'm sure everything will be perfectly fine here. Oh, and the other monsters send final girl turned special agent Connor Hayes out to kill a babysitter to prove his loyalty to them. It's just a great, fun, silly series. So yeah, looking forward to that one.
I looked at this one. I didn't choose it, but I like the title, especially the cul-de-sac. I mean, I have family that have lived in cul-de-sacs. I go, well, it's pretty interesting, Yeah. So hopefully it's a good read.
Yeah.
And I am up next. So I picked this one. This is Superman versus Wonder Woman. I think this is from decades gone by. It says all new collection, collector's edition, number 54, facsimile edition. Looks like it's just past stories of, Superman versus Wonder Woman. And you see Uncle Sam in the back. So I thought it was by George Perez, this cover, but it doesn't say what it is. Oh, no, it doesn't say. Cover artist, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. But it just reminded me of, days gone by, so to speak. So but
just
I think
imagine
it's a collection of stories. Yeah.
Just imagine, Efren, 20 years time, we'll be doing this show still, probably. And you'll be looking at a cover like that. And instead of Uncle Sam in the background there, it'll have Donald Trump pointing at one. You know what I mean? That's where we'll be at that point, won't it?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, looks very cool, this one. Fuzzy's asking a question about World's Finest, that it's coming to an
oh
end.
no,
I don't know about that, mate. I've
I,
not read it. I have to be honest, I've not read it.
I have really enjoyed this storyline because it's not like it's continuity. It's like years and years gone by, so they can go any direction they want to. It's been really enjoyable. I really have enjoyed that series.
And Dead Man's just confirmed that this was one long story.
Oh,
So it's one big tale.
Thanks. Yeah.
I love that art style, mate. I do love
Yeah.
that art
Yeah.
style.
Me too. Yeah. And you are up next.
Ooh, Boom Studios, more creepiness and horror. The cover jumped out at us. Brian, I'll get his name wrong, Azzarello. I love his work. This is a mini series, 1 of 5. In nature, there are gods older than the devil. Nothing can prepare you for what's coming in this violent, electrifying descent into this bloody black metal infused revenge saga. So I read that and I thought, oh yeah, it sounds interesting. Now, I love Thor and all that kind of stuff. So as we read on, it got really interesting. Val, an American metalhead attending a festival in Oslo, begins her, Jesus, big words here. I don't know what that is. Pilgrimage into the vast depths of vengeance. After her victimization at the hands of a charismatically vile local band, the old gods of Norse mythology guide her along a path in the name of women everywhere. Will she walk a warrior's path or become a behemoth beyond human recognition? I just thought that sounded really interesting. So the Norse gods pushing her to basically seek revenge. I think it could be very cool, this one.
When as somebody who's watching right now, look up what this word means, because I don't know what it means either. It's penumbrous.
Penumbrous.
I've never heard of that word before. So anybody in the comment want to tell us what that word is, let us know before. I have no idea what that is. So this is Zatanna, Bring Down the House. I haven't read even issue 1 yet. I know it's out already, I believe. I really have been digging her covers, especially covers number 1 and 2. It says Zatanna, Bringing Down the House, number 5, written by Mariko Tamaki. And now for her grand finale, Zatanna's has been hunted by demons, terrorized by warring factions of magic, whisked hallway across the world by an ex, always running from the past rather than daring to face it down. So yeah, hopefully this is a good series. I haven't even read issue number 1, but I really have been digging the covers. This is the
issue 1 didn't blow me away. I have to be honest. It is worth a read, Efren. It's got some interesting bits and the art's interesting in it as well, but it didn't blow us away. I will read on, but I think I'm interested enough to read on.
So you're up. No, this is mine again, I believe. I think these are the rest of them are mine, because these are the ones that Peter had stopped. But just to make sure, but this is Superman number 19. I'm really digging this cover. It says Superman and Superwoman must deal with the return of rampaging Doomsday. And wait, Superwoman, after the events of absolute power, Lois Lane has new powers, but how long can they last? So this looks like this is a team up with Superman and Lois Lane, who becomes the new Superwoman. But for how long, we'll see. So it's written by Joshua Williamson.
Von Hoot's confirming, I wouldn't trust him at all. He seems like a penumbrous character to me. It means shady.
Oh, okay.
So it's a shady character.
I thought you were going to leave us guessing throughout the whole show. I was going to go time out. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We got to look it up.
Thank you for that, Von Hoot.
Okay, no, I take it back. So this is another one where we chose the same book. But Peter, please go ahead.
You chose this, Efren.
Yes, I did.
You are getting better, Efren. Well done.
Thanks to you guys.
You're getting brave. Who's a big boy? Who's a big boy?
I am. I love the premise of this story.
Yeah.
So I go, oh my God, it's an exorcism, but where it takes place. But Peter, please go ahead.
Yeah. So that first cover, I don't know if Andy's still in the chat, but that first cover is by Jock, and that's what jumped out at us, I have to say. The cover just looked really, really interesting. So IDW debuts a chilling new 4-issue original supernatural horror series, perfect fans of The Nice House on the Lake and Haunting of Hill House, from the pen of rising comics writer Hannah Rose May and acclaimed artist Vanessa Del Rey, Scarlet Witch. Kelly Doyle has just been elected the first woman president of the United States of America. and boiling political tension could spill over any second, having to balance being a mother to two teenagers and navigate the shifting media landscape, all while preventing World War III. Has Kelly spread thin, but she could never predict the nation's hallowed halls will soon become a demonic battleground for good versus evil. I think this sounds really, really sexy and interesting.
Yep.
I think it'll be very, very cool. And it's an interesting one, I think, in terms of the political positioning in America at the moment. It's interesting that they've chosen the White House to have this setting, you know? So, yeah, I think this will be cool. And the cover looks amazing.
Another reason I picked this book because it reminded me, and it's not the same writer, The Devil That Wears His Face.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my God, I got to read this book. So that's why I picked it. And I love the covers too. So, yep, I did pick that one also. And thanks to you, Peter and James, you know, for easing me into horror little by little. You know, there's a horror con I told you coming up in October here, I believe, in September, October, and I'm going to go to it. You know, so I'll let you know more about it, you know, later on. Yeah. This is Defeating, written by David M. Boher in this extra length horror, and it's just a one shot. That's another thing that grabbed my attention with this book. Nolan Ward has done everything to forget his disturbing past: drinking, drugs, day trading, sex, and still the past has caught up with him in the form of a twisted painting called The Feeding, which eats people and it's hungry. Can Nolan stop the demon, or will he be devoured like so many others before him?
Sounds good.
I read the title and I went, okay, this is going to be a good book. Hopefully it'll be a good book. And I said, it's just one book too. So that's another thing that grabbed my attention on this book.
I've got a feeling I read this one as well, mate, and thought this sounded very cool.
Yeah.
I do like the sound of that.
Yep. And here's another one we picked up both. You're up, Peter. Yeah.
Terminator. I mean, what more do you need to know? I'm a sucker for anything Terminator. Now, the only downside to this, and I was hesitant with this one, I have to say, the only downside to this is written by Declan Shalvey, who is the guy who does the current Thundercats title. Okay. Now, I'm not a fan of that. I am a fan of Terminator, so I hope to God he doesn't screw this one up for us as well. But basically, the plans to kill Sarah Connor and her son John have failed, but the genocidal Skynet isn't out of options yet. There are still a few more avenues into the past that will allow it to destroy the human resistance that is poised to smash its processors into silicone shrapnel. So again, it's Terminator, it's Declan. I'll give it a go and see what happens.
I like that they're going after other people besides Sarah Connor and John Connors too. So that's what grabbed my attention. Yep. Hope it's a good read.
Dr. Von Hoot, I can't believe we've turned Efren into a horror hound. Great.
Little by little, you know, but like I said, I won't watch a horror movie by myself. I go, no, especially at night, you know. That Peter sent me that 1 minute video on YouTube with the person turning on and off the light. It scared the bejesus out of me. I was like, what the hell is this? I go, that was scarier than any freaking movie, man. I was like, thank you, Peter.
Dead man's asking, will Terminator have a mustache like Tiger? Whoa, yeah. I'm always worried about books that have backup stories in them. I think Terminator could be disappointing. I think I'm with you, Fuzzy. I have to say, I'll give it a go just to test it out. But I think you're probably right, mate. Still salty because he wouldn't draw on your book. Get over it, man. He's coming to Thought Bubble, apparently.
Who is?
Declan Shalvey. He's coming to Thought Bubble, so yeah, we'll have to chat with him about his shite comic.
All right. This is Geiger, number 7. It's by Jeff Johns. Here we go again. Another really good writer. It's his new story arc on his quest to find a cure to his radioactive existence. Geiger, Barney, and Nate, the nuclear knight, come across a hidden community in the wastelands. In the wastelands, one that offers an echo of what once was suburban America.
So, loving this series.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to show it off tomorrow night on the Killer Comic Show.
Oh, nice.
9 o'clock. Please do check it out. But I've just getting I think it was a San Diego Comic Con exclusive Efren variant of issue number 1, glow in the dark cover signed by Jeff Jones and who's the other artist? Superb artist, Ivan Van Thingy. I can't remember his name. But it's a beautiful looking cover.
You have a show tomorrow? I've never heard of it, Peter. What's it called?
It's called the Killer Comic Show, Efren.
Oh my God.
Comic Show, 9 o'clock.
Let me write this down. Killer Comic Show.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to watch it. And everybody that's watching us right now, I expect you to watch it tomorrow also. So.
What are you wanting them to watch, Efren?
Killer
Comic show. That's why. That's
Show.
why. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Von Hoot, to my rescue, Ivan
Rice.
Rice. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it's signed by him and
Oh,
Jeff
okay.
Jones.
Once again, that's Killer Comic Show. So
That's correct. That's correct.
okay. This is part of Geiger Universe. It's Red Coat number 7. I really have been enjoying this series. It's written by Jeff Johns. Here we go. End of story arc. The critically acclaimed series continues as the first Red Coat adventure concludes. Tragedy hits Simon Pure in a way he never expected in this emotionally can't pronounce this word, riveting tale. Mr. Pure will come face to face with the consequences of his long life and his reckless actions throughout it. I really recommend this book. I really have been enjoying it, So
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's great. It's great fun. It's great fun.
So this is my book, and I forgot to put the what's it about, and this is
Just
called Art Bond.
Make it up.
No, I made a copy of it for myself here.
Okay.
It says New York Times bestseller author Scott Snyder, Cotton's Titan Frank Thierry, and acclaimed artist Ryan Smallman, with the contributions of Oscar-nominated actor Tom Hardy, to bring you a bold new sci-fi saga in a future where Earth has become a barren wasteland. Zynatech harnesses the unmatched energy of chromium to assert its dominion across the stars. When Kai, a rising mediator in Zynatech's army, gets an unexplained message from a mysterious entity, everything he thinks he believes is thrown into question and leads him to explore what it truly means to be a human in a world where the boundaries of technology and identity blur. So,
I'm always slightly nervous. Yeah, I'm always slightly nervous when it's like an actor or someone writing. But that said, again, Fuzzy, help us out. What's the Boland book? Holy Roller. Holy Roller is spot on.
Oh, by God, that actor. I can't believe I forgot his name. God, I'm a big fan of him. He was in Saturday Night Live and Brooklyn 999.
Brooklyn 9, yeah.
Yeah, God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on him. And Keanu Reeves wrote a book too, So yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Andy Samberg.
That's it, Andy Samberg.
Yeah, really enjoyed that book.
Yeah.
And this one is mine again. The rest of these are mine. So the reason I picked this book came out already, but there's this publishing company called DF, and I'm drawing it,
Dynamic Forces.
Yeah, they come out with books that are signed and graded, so you can buy ahead of time. So this is just one of them. It says Dynamite Forces Marvel 85th anniversary special #1 Young variant CGC graded. So I'm not sure. Do you guys get that over there also, Peter?
So back in the day, I don't know. It's not a thing. We used to have the shopping channel, QVC or whatever you call it.
Okay.
And once a month there would be a Dynamic Forces kind of session on it, and they would sell your graded your signed comics with certificates and things like that. But then it just kind of died a death. That said, you can still pick up a lot of Dynamic Forces books off eBay and places like that with the certificates. And I've just picked up. I'm not showing it off yet because I'm keeping it to myself. But I've just paid a lot of money for a signed book from Dynamic Forces that I'm going to get sent off to be graded. But you can still get them. They're still good books.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I can't remember the guy's name. He was very energetic, the guy that used to sell them on QVC. Let us know in the chat if anyone remember his name. He was the face of QVC, and he was like dead hyper and a great salesman.
So I'm not going to buy these books, but one, they're just very expensive. It's $85 basically. The company that I use, Gmart, they give out discounts of 30%, but that's still $68 where you can just do it yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how many people actually use this service, but I figured I'd just put it out there, to see if anybody uses it. And here's another one too. Oh no, it's Comic Book Review. You ready, Peter? Yeah. This is a book that we each review, and Peter picks one and I pick one, and I believe you are first, Peter.
People are just commenting on QVC. People have picked up a lot of great stuff. Yeah, I've got a lot of good stuff. That's the fella, Andy. I think. Yeah, that's him. And was he saying my mum bought me a hairbrush with a built-in radio from QVC?
I bought something from QVC back in the day too. They do drag you in. They just I remember them selling comic books there, and I went, "Oh my God, I gotta get this!" But yeah, I seen a video. I don't know if I sent it to you, but this guy it was an old video. It was like one of those QVC or information ones, and he gets on. It was a ladder. And he gets on top of it, and it just folds up on him. I was like, "Oh my God!" So,
It's normally
but
food processors or knives that'll never dull. That's what I seem to remember we're buying.
yeah.
Anyway,
So this is comic book review. Peter and I, we each choose one book that we have read, and we're going to give it a quick review. And I believe you're up first, Peter. Yes.
So Proctor Valley Road. I was really, really excited to read this. This is an older book. This is by Grant Morrison and Alex Child. The premise is basically, and Efren, you correct us if I'm wrong, this is a real place. Is that right, Proctor
We'll
Valley?
talk about it after you give your review. Yes.
Yeah, so Proctor Valley Road, from what I understand, is an area that's got lots of kind of myth and legend about it.
Yes.
And this at the time when it came out got lots of excitement. Loads of people were saying, oh, it's been optioned, it's going to be a great Netflix series and stuff. And I think I got 5 or 6 of the issue ones to read, and then bought the trade paperback, expecting a really good kind of monster ghost story, and it just did nothing for us. I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't like the kind of the storytelling. I hated the artwork, if I'm honest. It's just not my cup of tea at all. And the story just didn't float my boat at all. So I came away from this really, really disappointed, to be honest. Grant Morrison, I don't think, had a lot to do with this book, because it does say Grant Morrison clearly on the cover, but then when in the internal pages it says it's got his name attached to it. But this Alex Child, who I think writes for a TV show or something like that, I think was the primary writer behind it, and it didn't out for us. Fuzzy in the comments is saying mince, so he's read it as well. Not a big fan, but I think it is based on truth, Efren. Is that right?
Okay, so when I was reading this book, I read it when it first came out, and like about the second or third issue, I stopped. I go, wait a minute, Proctor Valley Road. I go, that's here in San Diego. So
Yeah.
it's an actual road, only like about 15 minutes from my house. And and I agree with you, the story was just okay. Okay. But when you go on this road, it just feels different. First of all, it's a regular paved road, but when it ends, it just becomes a dirt road. And this was during the daylight, and you go in it, it just seems like, where the hell am I? You know, it's just dirt, no lights, nothing. And I was like, but it connects cities, you know, and I was like, and it just felt different. Like something was weird about this place. I had no idea, no history of it. And the first time I drove through it was at night, because my GPS had said Bonita, which is one city, and it connected to, you know, it connected from Chula Vista, which is one city, and connected to Bonita, which is another city. And I was near that road. It says, I'm going to take this road. The minute this was at night, and the minute I got on it, it was completely dark, no lighting at all. I was like, where the hell am I? And it just felt weird.
So is this relatively near to you then, Efren, is it?
It's near to me. It's only about 50 minutes away from my house, this road. And
so listen,
you know,
we're coming over to San Diego, not next year, but the year after, to do San Diego Comic-Con. I think we should jump in a car.
I'll take you guys.
We should do a ghost hunt. We should drive into this place, get out of the car, and see if we can find some of the monsters.
Even during the daylight, it just the minute.
No, not during the daylight. Let's go at night. Let's go at midnight, Efren. Let's go.
But it just feels weird. It's hard to explain. I go, there's something eerie about this place, and I agree. I understand why they chose this title. And like I said, only about 15 minutes away from my house.
Yeah,
we'll go, and I'll leave you guys there, and I'll come back in an hour.
Dead Man saying Alex Child writes for Holby City. There you go. I knew it was something like that, mate, and that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, the only place I want to go in San Diego is Bubs. What's Bubs?
No idea.
What's Bubs, Andy? Don't know what Bubs is, mate. Yeah. And we got Shiny in the chat. Nice to see you, Shiny. I thought it was the Funko Pop and Lego show tonight. Wrong one, mate. Wrong night.
Wrong channel. Okay, so mine is, and I talked about it briefly, Inquisitors. When I first read issue number 1, like I said, I just got into it so quick. And when I was done with issue number 1, I was going, boy, this is a good story. And sure enough, it was written by, Rodney Barnes. It says, Star Wars has set up the perfect premise for its brand new Inquisitor series set during the dark times of the Empire's rule over the galaxy. Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader's Imperial Inquisitors served as their royal Jedi hunters tasked with eliminating or corrupting any Jedi Knights who might have survived the events of Order 66. Okay. However, this newer story sees a lone Jedi survivor declaring war on their Dark Order, and it's a Jedi I never heard about I believe his name is, what is his name here? Should say it here. Let me see. Corrupted. Doesn't say the Jedi's name. I forgot who the Jedi's name was, but it's been a really good story, and I really have enjoyed it. You know, I just read issue number 1, so this is my recommended read. You know,
pretty cool. Pretty cool. Andy's just saying that Bub's is a sports bar at the ballpark next to Padres.
Next to the Padres, where the Padres play. There's all kinds of bars around there. So, yeah. Back to the past. You ready, Peter?
Yep.
You wouldn't imagine how long it took me to do that, you know. So, back to
it was worth it, Efren. It was worth every hour that took you.
Every hour, man. Just scratching my head how to get the music and how to get the picture and everything, man. Make the words look like the movie. You know, it took me forever, man. I was like pulling my hair. So, but you know, since we've been doing this show, Peter and I, we add things to it little by little. And this is Back to the Past, where Peter and I just pick a cover that we have enjoyed from the past. So, and you are up first, sir.
Yeah. I just the reason I picked this one was I've recently picked up a huge Stan Lee book. It's massive. I'm going to show it off on one of the channels in a bit. And it got us thinking Stan Lee. And I'm a massive fan of Stan Lee. And I remember this cover well. I've got a copy of this book. This is from Foom number 17. Yes. And I just love that cover. And I love the fact that I sit and I look at it and it shouts to Stan. You know who it is straight away. But I loved trying to pick out all the different characters that are in there, you know. I just think it's a great bit of work. Love it. You're muted, Efren.
When you picked this cover, I went, man, God, I go, what cover is this? You know, so I had to look it up. So yes, Foom number 17. And I agree with you. I like all the characters that's on here with Stan. You know, you can see Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man. I think he's got Doctor Strange's cloak, probably Thor's in there, you know. So
Fantastic Four, all the different Fantastic Fours are represented in the fingers there. You've got Daredevil at the top. You've got Howard the Duck, his little hat at the top there.
Yeah.
You know, Iron Man. It's just, Silver Surfer. It's brilliant. I love it. Absolutely love it. Chris says, it's hideous. And fuzzy my eyes. How dare you? Use it. I like it. I think it's pretty darn cool.
That would have been a cool book to have signed by Stan Lee. You know?
Just whilst Chris is on, Chris, I'm going to send you, Nelly said I'm going to send you some images, and I know you'll send some filthy comments about that. I picked up 3 massive hardback books that I don't know if you've seen before, but I've been flicking through them and they're absolutely phenomenal. But I can't remember who makes them. I think it's like a Japanese firm or something like that. But I'll send you the images, and if you've got any of them, we can maybe do a short chat about them because they are stunning.
Yes, I think it's a cool cover. You know, so all that matters is my opinion and yours. So you know,
exactly. Yeah,
exactly. So mine is Superman. This is Superman when he died, you know. This book came out in 1993. I remember when this book came out, it made such big news in the United States. It was like on the network news, you know, they were talking about Superman dying. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, I really thought back then that was it. They weren't going to bring him back. You know, it just made such news in the United States. And I just love this cover, you know, so that's why I chose it. You know,
it's a stunner. Fuzzy's saying there's always a risk of Efren choosing the same cover.
I thought about that when I picked this cover.
Did I not pick this a few months back?
I picked this before, man.
Did I not pick? I think I picked the black polybag version, didn't I?
Oh, you did?
The bloody, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's one of my favorites. Fuzzy, there's an absolute edition coming out, which will be amazing. So I'll definitely be picking that up. So yeah, there's an absolute Death of Superman with the entire storyline, and the cover is beautiful. So yeah, I'll definitely be getting that. I look forward to my images. Absolutely great pick, Efren. I love that cover. Absolutely love it.
So before and when we do our next month's video, I'm gonna send you a picture of my Back to the Pastor. Make sure I haven't picked it before. I send it to your Fuzzy so you guys can remind me. So we are almost at the end, and this is actually we got two more segments. This is no way. These are two books, and this is just our opinions. If somebody else may love these books, but these are just two books that we just don't like. We haven't enjoyed reading so far, or we have stopped reading. So like I said, this is nothing to say that these are bad writers, but just books that we just don't like. And you're up first.
Yeah. So, do you know what? Again, Declan Shalvey. I don't know why he's getting so much work. He must be the in name at the moment. But again, not a big fan of his. But I'm going to be honest. The reason this doesn't appeal to us in the slightest is I've got no interest in Mystique. I don't know why. She's just not a character that's ever really, really appealed to us. So, and I'm a bit of it irritates us a little bit, these villains having ongoing series or mini series or whatever. Yeah. So no, I've just no interest in this. I'm interested to know in the chat if anybody will be picking this up, but it's just not for me.
I'll be picking it up. When you pick this book, I'm going, this book hasn't even come out yet. So I was gonna send you a message going, is this right? I mean, this book hasn't come out yet, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna read issue number 1. I like the character Mystique. I think she's got the coolest powers. I mean, anybody can change, to look like anybody. That's like, wow, to me, those have always been cool powers, So, and I'll be reading it. So, and mine, Peter told me this book was no good, but I still had to read it myself. I think I read the first 2 or 3 issues. I went, oh my God, I just can't read this. The artist and the writer are the same person, who wrote this book. But I was like, I just don't get this. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're doing with it. And I just had to put it down. I've only ever really stopped reading like a couple of books, but I just go, I can't read this anymore. Ultimate X-Men, by Peach Momoko. I just was like, oh my God, I just don't get this book. The artwork, I hate to say, was starting to get on my nerves a little bit. So I just couldn't finish reading this book. I stopped halfway. Like I think I was reading issue number 3. I just went, I just can't finish this. I just had to put it down,
I mean, I really wanted to like this because I know Peach Momoko does great work,
yes.
I find her hit and miss in terms of her cover. It's just not my style. And to be fair, I've not read a lot of anime type stories, so I'm probably not the right audience for this.
Yeah,
but this has got X-Men attached to it, and I'm a big X-Men fan.
Oh, me
so
too.
I thought I would give it a go, and I just couldn't get away with it. I think I read 4 issues, and I just thought, nah, I'm wasting my time here because it's just doing nothing for us. So I jumped out of this one, I'm afraid.
I agree. I think it's a different audience, But to me, X-Men, I want to see Wolverine. I want to see, Cyclops, some of the original X-Men, at least starting off with. But I just couldn't read. I just went, I can't read this. It was just So didn't finish it at all. What does Shalvey mean? Like crap?
No, Shalvey, that's the name of the writer and artist. Okay. So he's saying on art and story, instant buy. I suspect he's being tongue in cheek. I hope he's being tongue in cheek. I think the trouble with Mystiques are they're reluctant to make her a proper film. That's my problem, I think, of Von Hoot. And again, it sounds really sad, probably, and people will argue. I like villains to be villains. Do you know what I mean? I don't want Juggernaut in the X-Men. I want Juggernaut as the bad guy. I don't want a good Green Goblin. These people should be bad guys, I think. Villains. I'm going to pick this up and put it right back down. Hector, nice to see you. Nice to see you. And we've got Desire Comics. Nice to see you. Hope you're well.
Hey, Nigel.
Fuzzy, as far as Blue Women go, she's pretty high up, I'll be honest. Yeah. Not an X-Men book, no anything to do with the Ultimate Universe. Mince. Absolutely agree, Fuzzy. It did nothing for me, sadly. Did nothing for me.
I just think with Marvel, I mean, they're trying to like invent new characters, but it's hard. I mean, these characters are like over 60 years old now, and they're still main characters in the Marvel universe, just like Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, the big 3. They've been around forever, and every now and then a new character does come out, like Miles Morales or the new Ms. Marvel, which grabs people's attention, but they're never going to be able to get away from the original, characters, from 60 years ago, I believe. Oh no, Read of the Week. So this is our last segment. Thank you everybody for hanging in there with us. Next month, I am not going to use my daughter's laptop anymore. It's too confusing for me. I'm going to go back to my regular computer. So just to let everybody know. But read of the weeks, this is books that are coming out this Wednesday, I believe, right, Peter?
Is
And
it this week or next week? I can't remember.
today is the 7th. I think it was this week. So this
Okay.
week, these books are coming out like today. But Peter and I, we each pick one book that we are interested in reading. And you are first.
Look at that. So
Yeah.
this is Werewolf by Night. I am a bit of a fan of good old Jack Russell, character that's been around for a long, long time. There was an interesting Werewolf by Night issue of the Blood Hunt recently, but that didn't feature this guy. That featured the kind of the new version of Werewolf. But this is followed on from Blood Hunt. It says that the deadly dramatic wake of Blood Hunt, his life is about to be turned upside down in ways he never imagined, with new enemies hoping to extract literally a pound of flesh, and Jack unsure if he can be trusted around old allies and a lost love. The original Werewolf by Night is in it for the fight of his life. Love the sound of this. This is a Red Band book. So Red Band, if you don't know, is Marvel's new kind of way of making the books a little bit more adult. So they come polybagged, and Red Band basically means that there's additional scenes in it that have got blood and gore and things like that. The mini series of Werewolf by Night, or the one shot, ended with something happening with the moon that meant that the werewolf characters couldn't control themselves anymore.
Okay.
So he was a wild animal again, and I quite like that. So yeah, I think this will be pretty cool. Looking forward to this one.
I haven't read a Red Band book yet. I have
Right.
one, but I just haven't opened it up and read it, So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm interested in reading this book for sure. And mine is Uncanny X-Men #1. I know you guys have been thrashing X-Men throughout this series, but I really enjoy reading the X-Men, and I'm going to be reading this. Hopefully, knock on wood, it'll be a good book to read. If not, it'll be my book no way book next month. So, but I am looking forward to reading this. I'm just an X-Men fan. Hopefully, it'll be a good read to me. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give this one a go. I have to say, I'll give this one a go and see what it's like. Fuzzy saying the Red Band is a scam. You gave up on Blood Hunt, it won't pay extra again. Yeah, you pay, I think it's an extra $1.50 or something like that, Fuzzy, and for a few additional scenes. So you're right. It's just a way of getting more money out.
Yeah.
Von Hoot, Werewolf by Night is out next week. Yeah, I think I picked books that were released next week, whereas this is this week. I think
it's this week. Yeah, so that's my bad. But I think that is it. That's all, folks. So we are done for this month. This was advanced orders for October, and I would say next month will be on Peter's channel, but we always share when we do videos like this. But Peter will be in charge of getting all the slides ready, and not me, so I don't have to freak out. Peter, what's coming up on your show? Anything coming up? You're going on vacation pretty soon, right?
Yeah, I'm off on vacation. So we've got a few different videos out at the moment. I've got a few action figure videos. Transformers video went out today, so please do check those out. I'm filming after this with James T. Keegan, so we can do our One Good Scare show on Friday night. So that'll go out at 9 o'clock. And James is going to watch live so he can comment. And then I'm on vacation for a couple of weeks. So I'll still have my regular videos, but I'll not have any live shows. When I come back in September, I'm relaunching with a few different live shows. So there's some new stuff to get with teeth into. And I might not have mentioned it, but I'm live over on the Killer Comic Show tomorrow night at 9 o'clock with the guys. So looking forward to that. So
say again, what's going to happen on Friday? You won't be around, but James is going to have the show. Like it's going to be like a live premiere.
Yeah. So we're going to record it tonight, and then we'll do a live premiere on Friday.
Okay. Yeah. So this weekend, I'm going to be broadcasting as much as I can. I'm going to D23 Friday and Saturday. So that's Disney's version of Comic-Con, basically. They're going to have all their things going on there. So I will be there Friday and Saturday. So I'm going to try to broadcast live on Instagram like I did a couple of weeks ago at YouTube. I mean, at Comic-Con. So that's what I'll be doing. And whenever I feel like doing a video, and maybe next month again with Peter, but I will hopefully be getting some more videos out there, And once my comic books come back from CGC, I want to get together with you and James like we did the first time and show them.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So that'd be pretty cool too. But that's it. Until any more comments, Peter, before we go away?
No, just people saying thanks. It was a good show. Good night, everybody. So thank you so much to everybody that's been in the chat. You guys keep the show going. So thank you so much for that. We do appreciate you watching.
Go back to that last message again by Fuzzy.
James will forget, guaranteed.
Probably. But until next month, everybody, be safe and go out and buy a comic book and read it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.